Hello, good morning. This is Justin Nimergood, and we're here for another fantastic episode of The Real Estate Rock Stars. Today, I'm joined by a fabulous guest, a man that, you know, his reputation certainly precedes him, especially in the commercial real estate industry, Mr. Shehzad Bhayani. A little bit about Shehzad. He graduated with an MBA degree in finance and as a licensed real estate agent has been an entrepreneurial spirit and passion to help business owners. An expert in identifying investment opportunities, he enjoys helping his investors find value added opportunities at every turn. Being a business owner with ownership and or investments in multiple business ventures and commercial real estate for the last 27 years all over Texas, Shehzad brings firsthand experience of site selection, operations, marketing, development, layout, and leasing. The vast business experiences make him the ideal advisor to his commercial real estate clients in understanding how real estate can enhance their operations. It's without further ado, I'd like to welcome Shehzad to the show. Welcome, Shehzad.
Thank you, Justin. Good morning. Thank you for your kind words. And good morning to all your audience as well.
Absolutely. Well, let's just dig right into it if we could. Share a little bit about yourself if you could with the audience out there and kind of how you got into the not only real estate but the commercial real estate business.
So basically, my journey started way back around 1998, 1999 when I came to United States. I basically joined retail gas station industry here in Texas. I'm basically a gas station guy who worked his way up from
Hmm.
working gas station for someone else, bought the same store that I worked in, then bought some more real estate gas station with businesses slowly, and built a portfolio of not only gas station real estate, but retail shopping centers, hotels, commercial land for land development, multi-purpose lands. So one thing led to the other, and I just, started expanding. More opportunities came my way. And then around 2013 is where I decided I need to get my own commercial real estate license and help buyers and sellers find those same kind of opportunities which I have in the past and help them achieve their goals in commercial real estate. So that's when I jumped full time into commercial real estate brokerage and started helping my clients buy and sell commercial real estate, primarily gas stations, liquor stores, land, hotels, retail shopping centers, and even small businesses like restaurants, coin laundry, and all that stuff. You know.
That's fantastic. And I mean, how did you, was it just your background and experience kind of in the retail, the gas station business and whatnot that really drew you to being in that sect of business for real estate? Because obviously commercial is a whole different animal than residential. And some would even call it, a more complex animal, right? So it requires, there's more moving parts. It's usually slower, longer deals. So was it that? Was it the prospect of a large deal that really drew you to it? Could you just share a little bit more with our listeners?
Sure. So basically, I'll give you a very good example. It's like a car mechanic becoming a car salesperson. He needs
Mm-hmm.
he needs to know the inside outside of the car, how it runs, the mechanics, the technicalities, before you can actually sell it to somebody else, right? So
Mm-hmm.
my journey is very similar to that. I ran into a friend of mine who owned multiple gas stations, and he was buying a gas station, and at that time I was running multiple gas stations of my own and was not into brokerage, and he asked me to help him out. And that deal, I just did it as a favor to him, and was so complex, that particular deal. But luckily, fortunately, I was able to get him through to the finishing line like his consultant friend in buying that gas station. And that friend told me that I think you should pursue commercial real estate, get a license, and go on that journey. And I kind of thought, okay, I've been doing these operations, retail at the ground level for so long. It's time for a little change, being in the same industry, doing the same thing, but in a different way, in an office setting, make my own time, come and go in the office at my own pace. I don't have to physically open a mortar, brick and mortar building or close it
Right.
down. So this is basically was the start to all the brokerage business that I currently have, apart from the other portfolio.
Well, that's fantastic and a great story of persistence and just kind of like taking the signs from the universe, for lack of a better term, and really moving forward and running with it. And for those of you that know Shehzad, or at least know the commercial real estate business in the DFW Metroplex, he's built quite a name for himself. I know him actually through his emailer, which has become a famous email distribution list for those that are involved in commercial real estate. And I met him through that at the end of last year, at the recommendation of a friend of mine, Mr. Sandeep Upendra, if he's out there listening. So those of you that know him, he is absolutely diligent and relentless, I would say, in his pursuit of this business and really trying to help people out there. So on that note, Shehzad, I'd love to understand, and I'm sure our listeners would too, what's sort of the most rewarding part of the job? Or maybe you have a story that you could share that really illuminates, why it's rewarding for you.
So the most rewarding part, Justin, to me is that a lot of time the clients that come to me are moving from out of state and they have no business, no income, nothing right now because it's a new state for them and they're desperate to settle in a new town. And the most important thing when you move somewhere is to find something to make a living. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where I come in, and that's what gives me inner satisfaction about apart from the financial aspect of making money through commissions. But once the deal is done, the smile on that guy's face that finally I have an income and not I'm going to be busy making money, not sitting at home in stress that whether I will find something or not. Because everybody can find a home easily, the kids can start going to school in a new town, but the most important thing going back of their mind is how soon I can start making my income to pay my bills, right? That's the
Right.
most satisfying part at the closing time of any commercial deal.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this through the other lens, which is what's the most challenging part of your job?
Yes, there are a lot of challenges, Justin. It's a long story, but I'll tell you very briefly. The most challenging part is for the buyers to find financing to buy these deals, because a lot of these commercial deals are very complicated. They are appraised and closed based on the seller side's financials, cash flow, appraisal, and also environmental study that has to come out clean. So all these moving parts have to be put together at the same time in a limited deadline that is on the purchase sale agreement. So a lot of times we face these challenges that the buyer loves the property, he wants to buy it, he agrees with the price, he agrees with the seller's term. But when it comes to third party financing like bank loans, then
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these deals are not financeable or have a challenge in financing. And luckily, we have tried to overcome that challenge by making connections with a lot of SBA and other lenders that we work with closely and have a network and relationship who helps us overcome this financing challenge now after a long journey. I think we have pretty much overcome these challenges with building bridges and relationship with a lot of local lenders for these commercial real estate.
Yeah, and you brought up a really interesting and important point, which is the synchronicity that is required for these deals. You were talking about how everything has to sort of line up.
Right.
and probably in commercial real estate more than most other businesses that are out there. And that holds true. And so it's not only that you have to be good at what you're doing, know what you're doing, and are actively moving it through the process, but you have to do so with other moving pieces at the same time too.
Correct.
Um, well, let's stay on that topic for a moment. Walk us through your typical day.
Okay, good. So my day, I start my day very early. Like I normally wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, normally, um, get over with my exercise and coffee and all that. And then I start working around 6 o'clock from my home office and
Mm-hmm.
take care of my emails and a lot of text from the previous day, a lot of emails, and then I leave home around 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then I have a lot of meetings in the field before I reach my office. So I have to meet a lot of potential sellers and potential buyers out in the field, mostly potential sellers who want me to meet them at their site, which they are interested to sell and want
Mm-hmm.
pitch them to get a listing for that particular site. So I take care of all these in the morning mostly, and then reach office around lunchtime. And then I'm in my office till 5 or 6 p.m., meeting potential buyers and taking care of all lot of other business, and of course returning emails, having a staff meeting with my internal staff. We have a big staff of people in our office, plus we have a lot of people working remotely from home. So I have to take care of all the basically troubleshooting of all the different deals that are going on. Leave around 6 o'clock, and then I'm done for the day. That's my typical day, Justin.
That's a solid 12-hour day, sir. So good
Yes,
for you. I
yes.
I did one of my first gigs was actually with Morgan Stanley in the commercial underwriting division, underwriting jumbo size loans, obviously before all the speculation and whatnot. And
Right.
I'll never forget my boss, my leader, whatever you want to call him. He said you can work whatever 12 hours of the day you choose. Shehzad, hello. We may have just lost Shehzad for a moment here, but he will be back here momentarily. And he's back.
So I don't know what happened there suddenly. Sorry.
No worries. Sometimes technical difficulties happen, which is fine. It happens. We'll be able to edit that out. All right. So what I was sharing before you unfortunately got cut off there is, that one of my first gigs was with Morgan Stanley Commercial Underwriting, jumbo size, mostly jumbo size loans for retail developments, similar to what you're involved in a lot. And I'll never forget that my leader, the VP, was basically like, you can work whatever 12 hours of the day you choose. He's like, you can work whatever you want as long as
Right.
you put in 12 hours a day. So I think that's kind of a consistent theme when you
Yeah.
look at commercial real estate. People are putting in the heavy hours.
True. That's right. You're right about that.
All right. So let me ask you this. Yeah, I know you do provide some investment strategy to your clients as well, right? So what is maybe one of your favorite investment strategies or most common investment strategies that you're constantly sharing with your clients?
So I'll tell you this, Justin, that one single investment strategy will not work for everyone. Everybody has a customized need. Lot of people only go for cash flow income, so the strategy will be different from them. For those people, the asset class will be gas stations and operating businesses only, because they want to make month to month income and cash flow. But for
Mm-hmm.
people who do not care about cash flow but wants to have appreciation in real estate value in long run and build equity, then I would always recommend those kind of clientele to buy retail shopping centers, land, which appreciate over a certain period of time in long run, depending on the area you're buying. So these are two basic strategies that I always focus on, but it depends on the client's goal and focus.
Well said. I'm sure you've dealt with some difficult negotiations before. Maybe share a story of difficult negotiations, set it up for us, and how you were able to overcome the difficulties and ultimately lead it to a closed deal.
Sure. So we had a gas station deal with real estate, which started with a purchase price of $3 million plus inventory. But when we went into the deal, the buyer and me both noticed that the cash flow on the seller's tax returns are not enough to justify that price. So
Mm,
so we tried to tell the seller that this is the feedback from the lender that this deal is not financeable at $3 million price, but he would not agree. He would not listen. He says, "No, my deal is worth 3 million because my so and so uncle sold a similar gas station for that price." And I
hmm
tried to tell them that your uncle might have a solid financials and tax returns to show, and yours is not the case. So you cannot compare apple to apple here. Um, he would not believe me, and I told my client to let's go for an appraisal, and the appraisal value will bring out the true picture and the true market value, because unless we do that and bring it in front of the seller a concrete appraisal report done by a third party appraiser, he will not understand our situation or will not budge. And that's exactly what happened. The client spent some money on the appraisal report, and guess what? The appraisal came back to be $2 million plus inventory. And
Ooh,
that's exactly what the ballpark number we were giving him based on my experience at looking at these deals, that your property is worth maybe $2.2 million, and the third party appraiser confirmed that, and we took that appraisal report to the seller, and then at that point he had no choice but to agree and give this drastic price discount of $1 million, and the client was able to close that $3 million deal for a $2 million price tag eventually based on the appraisal report. So that's one
wow.
interesting, you know from
Wow, 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 wow. Just goes to show you how important the your ability to value,
yeah.
properties is in the commercial space.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this, what do you do to keep up with, like, I'm sure you use certain tools or technology, what's or sites maybe. What are your favorite tools just to keep up with the latest trends in the commercial real estate market?
So our basic tool that now we have always used a mass email platform to send emails to our clients. That is the I to me that's a very good approach to reach a mass audience at one time. So if I have a new fresh listing, I put it out in that mass email blast, and it reaches 25,000 emails at one time. So in our database, we have 25,000 emails of different clients who are our clients for last 27 years. And that one reaches 25,000 people in one go. So that is a very platform that really helps us expose our new fresh listings to a mass audience, right? That's one thing. And nowadays, we are also using artificial intelligence to help draft our broadcast flyers, marketing material, also make it look more professional. So we're always using this AI and these new technologies that are coming up. We have a full team and a staff that takes care of that part from our end daily.
Mm, mm. I'd love you to share a little bit more about the AI piece because that I'm sure is top of mind for everyone out there right now.
Sure, sure. So we have this. So the flyer has to have a language that is precise, that is to the point. If a human tries to put that in a flyer, he tries to make a conversation out of the marketing flyer, which sometimes sounds very boring. People don't want to hear all these stories. They want to have very professionally formatized, like simple to the point, um, marketing flyers. So that's where AI and these platforms come in. We feed them our information on the new listing, the data, the numbers, the area, and it throws back a very concise, simple marketing flyer back to us. So the AI has really, really helped devise our marketing strategies, the flyers, the offering memorandums, and they 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 make it out to be very professional and to the point, which we have got a very positive feedback from all our clients recently.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and for all the listeners out there, if you're not leveraging AI, you're going to be left in the dust because AI is going to replace just about everything out there, and it's
Correct.
really going to be up to human interaction to have that last. Some people call it the last mile or the last inch of human connection. But all the stuff leading up to that, I mean, shoot, there's AI voice, bots that are making outbound calls and leaving messages that will sound just like you. So it's pretty much pervasive at this point.
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to switch gears for a second. We're going to move on to the final part of our show today, where I'm going to ask you a couple zingers, and just share, from your heart, just whatever you feel is right.
Sure.
So let's say for the first one, it's your 80th birthday, Shehzad. You got people there. So who's there? What's going on around you? Could you set it up for us on your 80th birthday?
So I hope the whole entire family is there, friends are there. We are probably barbecuing in the backyard, sitting, laughing about all the past deals, deals that were lost, deals that were almost lost, and we still were managed to close, laughing about different clients, kids, grandkids. Hopefully, they're all there, and we're talking about um, what we what I did professionally and personally over the last 80 years. Basically, that's what I imagine I would be doing at my 80th birthday. Hopefully,
That's wonderful. Can't go wrong with family and some laughter, right?
correct.
Okay, so this next one's a little different, but hopefully you'll appreciate it. So let's imagine for a moment it's your last day on Earth. You can
Uh-huh.
only preserve 3 items in your
Oh,
time capsule. What are
uh-huh.
those items and why?
Okay. Number one would be my family photo, no doubt about it. Um, that will remind me that's the reason why I took all these risks. So the family photo would be number one. I'll take with me for sure. My first contract, that's where it all began. My first contract, the signed contract that I did, that would be the second item I would like to take as a memory. And also, as a third item, if you ask me, a Texas map with all the pins of all the deals all over Texas that I closed. I'll take that with me. These three items are in that time capsule.
That's fantastic. That's a really good example of really mapping out your keys there. So, final question for you, Shazad. What is your definition of a real estate rock star?
Oh, okay. So I think a commercial or a real estate rock star is the one who does more listening than talking. He builds relationships, he builds trust. Basically, he understands the need of the client first before giving his opinion because every client is different. So, to me, a rock star realtor is basically who does more listening than talking.
Mm. Listening is the golden standard, and people don't understand it.
That's
We don't live in the 80s anymore where we do these off the cuff presentations, with flyers and a bunch of papers anymore. People
correct.
want to know that they are, and feel like they're heard. And so I love that you shared that as your sound advice there. So Shazad, how can people find and connect with you? What's the best way to do that?
Best way I would always suggest is to text me on my direct cell phone number. Um, I can give my phone number here if you want, but cell phone number, texting is the best way to reach me and quickly because I'm always into back to back meetings, and at least I can quickly chat with the potential client who needs help and I can direct them to the right person in my office. My cell phone number is 469-583-2390, which I'm sure you can put it out for your audience later on. But
That's fantastic. And we'll go ahead and link that in the show notes below. And there you have it for another exciting episode here on the Real Estate Rockstars, where we had a wonderful guest, Shehzad Bhayani, on, Mr. The commercial real estate expert here in VFW. Next week, we'll have another fantastic guest on as well, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you're there and on, and we'll join in then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.